Young King. What's happening, brother?
Not much, bro.
You easy, boy?
Excited for the new season.
Yay. Wena pagane.
You know the vibes.
All right. Asbangen. What's happening, guys? I hope that you guys are doing well. Welcome to What's Hot on the Streets. The only thing that we can talk about is the fact that it's the start of a new season. We saw the MTN 8 kick off this past weekend. I mean, Amapagania Jabulile, Amakosi went there. I mean, hey, that's a story for a different day. They don't deserve to be there, my boy.
Judging by how they've been playing for the past season.
Yo, imagine Richards Bay.
It's not a shock.
Above you on the log table. But hey, my boy, let's start off with Orlando Pirates. There's so much to talk about, but before we go onto the field, let's start off with the coach. Were you happy with what you saw from the new Pirates head coach, Owadu?
I was happy with the new players that he introduced and his starting lineup.
Sure.
I was also happy with his substitute. I think he's onto something. You know, obviously it's too soon or too early to judge him, but I think I kind of sort of see his philosophy.
Sure.
You know, he's the kind of coach that believes in young players.
Yeah.
He's the kind of coach that believes in double midfields. You know, players who know how to hold on to the ball and distribute the ball. He's a coach that believes, like, bro, I think Lena, he likes building up from the back. You know, which is the kind of football that I enjoy watching. So he's onto something.
So let's talk about that combination up front, right? And everyone was talking about Oswin Apollos joining Orlando Pirates. We saw him and Relay play on the wing, up front. How dangerous is that combination heading into this upcoming season? Because those two young lads were lethal, my boy.
Hey, bro.
Dangerous.
First off, what I can say is that they're going to be confusing for a lot of opponents and for a lot of coaches because, number one, they play in the same position, right? Oswin Apollos starts the game on the right, but he scores the goals on the left. So that's tricky. So now as a coach, when you have to apply defensive tactics, you're wondering, okay, how do I stop this guy?
And there will be movement between the two.
Movement between the two.
Yeah.
They're both good on the ball. They're both good in taking runs. And I think we can safely say that they're both good at shooting and scoring goals. You know, so I think they're going to be very crucial for Orlando Pirates.
Sure.
And they're going to be very confusing to our opponents. Although it's somehow, it might be confusing between them two because Apollos' strongest side is on the left, cutting into the right. But now when he's on the right, he has to take more runs and then whip it in, get it cross, right? So, that's the kind of play that he's used to, cutting in. So now he has to adapt to this new way of playing. That's why all too often you'll find him also on the left. And you'll find this relay there as well, you know.
Sure.
But I think they'll find a way to play. And look, bro, this is a different Orlando Pirates team. I think this is going to be one of the most exciting Orlando Pirates teams we've seen in a very long time.
Yeah.
And can I just digress a bit? Sipho Mbule and Sihlendu. What a combination.
Hey, that midfield is on fire, my boy.
I think the last time we had a midfield like that at Orlando Pirates was when we had Opa Manyisa and Andy Lejali playing together. They were exciting.
Sure.
Like, they did everything right. They complemented each other. Opa Manyisa was more good on the ball. He was the one that would push up a lot, and then Jali would stick there, and then Jali would win balls. And he was just as confident as Opa, even more confident, actually, because he even went overseas. Now, you look at Sipho Mbule and Sihlendu. Sihlendu is the kind of midfield that sticks. You know, you want him in attack, he's there. You want him in defense, he's there. Talk about a midfield that knows how to turn defense into offense quickly like that. It's Sihlendu. And then you have Sipho Mbule. He plays with a bit of flair. He's a bully.
Yes, sir.
You know, he's that guy, and he's skillful.
Yeah.
He plays with flair. He knows how to distribute the ball. He knows how to read the game. And having them two playing behind Tito Maswangani made it easy for Tito to now play that free role because they weren't following him and they weren't trying to outshine him. But they played with him and they made it easy and simple for him to play. They would win balls for him, give it to him, or feed the sides, or even feed the striker. You know, so we haven't had players that play like that at Pirates for a long time. Yes, you had Umbata, but for me, Mbata's play is more safe.
Sure.
He plays on the sides too much. That's the safe way of playing. That's like the bare minimum. Like, give me the ball, I'll take it to the side. What happened to the diagonal passes? What happened to the front passes? What happened to collecting the ball from defense, taking a turn, feed Tito, let him do his thing, and then feed the forwards, right? Mbata wasn't that guy, sharp, bigger shooter, and all of that. I think this season, he's going to have a very tough season. Talent Mbata. I think he's going to be challenged a lot this season. I don't see him getting much game time. There's no way he's going to bench Sihlendu.
Hey.
You know, and there's no way Maketleni Makaula is going to bench any of these
Sure.
guys too. Yes, he won midfield of the season, caused a lot of controversy, which I personally think he deserved. But yeah, still, bro, like my favorite players right now. Exciting players to watch for me. Yes, Apollos, we know what he's capable of. But yeah, Hugo Bruce, I don't envy his job right now.
It's almost like Hugo Bruce has seen this vision for a while.
Yeah.
Because so often players are selected from the bigger teams, and Hugo Bruce made the effort to say, this is my guy. And now we're seeing him performing so well at such a big team. Let's talk about a player that I know you like him a lot, right? But it's almost as though when I saw him play this past weekend, I was like, the runs that he's making forward could be very, very dangerous, right? Your thoughts on, please remind me, what's his name again?
Radio Pan.
No, not Radio Pana.
Really Mfuke?
No. Completely forgot his name now.
Who does he play for?
He plays for Pirates. Big guy, chubby.
Sipon
No, in the defense.
Oh, Mbogazi.
Bogas, yeah.
Oh my word.
Exactly. Finally, right? Your thoughts on Mbogazi this past weekend?
First off, I want to congratulate him for being Orlando Pirates' assistant captain, a vice captain rather. I see a young OJ Mabizela in him, and I was very young when Mbulelo Mabizela played. One might even wonder, when did you see him play? I had to go back and watch his clips because him and I went to the same school. So when I went to Highlands, I was like, hey, Ghana, he's a fellow Highlander. Let's check this guy out. Because even in our school, when you got there, they kept telling us about him. You know, him and Opa Manyisa.
Yes.
Like one of the most successful guys where sports is concerned to come from my school. Well, the list is endless, but they talk about them a lot. So OJ Mabizela has to be, for me personally, the best defender we've ever had in this country, right? I know a lot of people will talk about Bulukas Khateb and that, but I'm talking about guys that I caught a glimpse of. OJ Mabizela. Mbogazi, he has the right mindset. He's a hard worker, very strong, like very, very strong.
He could play rugby, actually.
Like he's very physically strong, and he's not the kind of defender that you can easily take on. Right? He knows how to read the game. He knows how to block spaces. He knows how to tackle. Something quite important that people don't understand. There's a difference between a tackle and an interception. He also knows how to intercept. Right? He also knows how to shoot. He also knows how to pass. So he's a full defender for me, and he deserves to be assistant vice captain, given the fact that he was also captain at the DDC. 2, 3, 4 years from now, I think he's going to be the main captain of Orlando Pirates. That's if he doesn't go overseas. He's a hard worker, and I was also impressed with his performance. He's a leader, bro. You know, and he's always there to cover. Even if Dion Hotto pushes up, he's always there to cover.
Sure.
You know, and he's always there looking for the ball too, which makes him quite different because him and Specie always want to be on the ball. Usually, a lot of central defenders, what they do is get the ball, boom, take it up front, and then they come back, drop back to cover space. But what these guys do is they want to be on the ball. They want to play, you know, and they make it
They want to
easy.
move forward.
Yes, and they make it easy also for the keeper to build from the back, because usually when goalkeepers want to build from the back, they play with the flanks. But this time at Pirates, we see him playing with his central defenders. They then turn it, take it to the midfield to the sides back to midfield, then to attack. Which is why I'm saying that Orlando Pirates this season are going to be like a beast. Him and CBC complement each other, although I would have loved for Oli Sanda to come back and play more. But I think he's going to have to earn his place, and this young kid here has cemented his name in that position.
CBC's captaincy. First game as skipper of Orlando Pirates. Your analysis of his performance.
Hasn't he always been, bro? I think it was just a matter of formalizing it. But he's always been a leader in that defense. It was bound to happen that when they signed him from Golden Arrows, he was captain. When he came, see, that's the thing also about Orlando Pirates is that we sign leaders. So that's what makes Pirates different from a Chiefs and Sundowns. Pirates signs leaders, and they believe in good leadership, right? CBC, for me, he's going to go down as one of the most successful captains, given the squad that he has. They're going to defend the MTN8, Darko Blue. They're going to contend for the league, which is looking likely that I'm hoping also that they do win.
Yeah.
But where play is concerned, he knows how to intercept, just like I said with Mbogazi. He knows how to make the right tackles at the right place at the right time. He's the kind of defender that hardly concedes penalties, and that's something that you want. You go through his stats, he hardly concedes penalties, he hardly gets red cards, so which means that his defense has discipline, and he's a clean tackler, right? which is what a lot of central defenders lack, you know, and I've seen how he can play under pressure. Last season when he came into the fold, a lot of people thought that, no, he can't replace Bonda, he can't play, like Sasani should be playing there. Sasani got injured, obviously. When he came in and then he played, he showed everyone that, look, I am that guy. So
I'm him.
He comes across as someone that's a leader on and off the pitch.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that he also speaks well, which means that he's educated, right? And when you look at him, you see just an average guy until he starts speaking and you realize that he actually speaks sense in the game. So for me, in terms of covering space, he knows how to do it. Receiving the ball, offside trap, he also understands that too. He complements his goalkeeper. He communicates with his defense. He communicates with his midfield. So it was bound to happen. He was bound to be captain.
Let me press you on a name that you mentioned earlier, Radiopane.
Yeah.
Right? He played as the number 9, the striker this past weekend. Were you happy with his performance?
Oh, bro, why wouldn't I? The young man is proving himself, you know, and I think with the right quality behind him, he's going to show us what he's capable of. Credit to the coach for giving him an opportunity. And like I said when we started that, I think this guy believes in young players. I don't see him playing Tsegofatso Mabasa. I don't see him playing much of Evidence Mahupa. I see him playing Radio Pane and Mbutuma more. These guys are young, and these guys, not that Mabasa and Mahupa are washed. It's just that I feel Radio Pane has always been a better striker, but injuries affected his career. And then sometimes he would play, sometimes he wouldn't play, because then there's always a dip in form when you're always injured.
Yeah.
But there he is now, because if you look at him from preseason to now, he knows how to make the right runs. He knows how to be in the right position to receive the ball, right? And I like the fact that he can be a deep number 9 and he can also be a false number 9. You know, I believe in playing a double striker. Imagine him, and then we have a central striker playing ahead of him. He could feed that guy, and then he could shoot more from outside the box. Because you saw, he was involved in the goal, Ozunapolis, the first goal. He's the one that actually passed Ozunapolis, and Ozunapolis scored. You know, so this means that he can come back to the midfield, get the ball, take it up front. And he also opens room for his wings to come back, cut in, and they too can score.
Yes.
You know, so I think he has the potential, Liana, to be like an exceptional striker. That he just needs more game time. He needs more grooming. I don't think he needs to be developed anymore at this point. He also proved himself at the Kosafa Cup that he's that guy. All he needs to do now is just raise his hand and say that, Yazin, this is my position.
I'm the main striker.
Yeah, he just needs to be that guy.
In terms of the last quarterfinal that we saw, Mamelodi Sundowns, I think a lot of people aren't necessarily surprised with that result.
Yeah.
And Richards Bay really couldn't compete. The squad that you saw from Sundowns, is this a team that you would say will beat Orlando Pirates in the semi-finals? Because we already saw the draw. Orlando Pirates taking on Mamelodi Sundowns in the semis for the MTN 8.
I remember last season when Mamelodi Sundowns beat Orlando Pirates, was it 4-1? I think it was 4-1 in the first leg. A lot of us said that, no, Orlando Pirates lost the game from the bench. Mamelodi Sundowns won the game from the bench. Mamelodi Sundowns have always been strong on the bench and on the starting 11. So whether or not Bomudao and them leave, but there's replacements. And these young guys, Letlaku, Mabena, have proven that we're there. We've played with these guys. We're just as good. So whether these guys leave or not, or whether they get less game time and we get more game time, we can still compete. Right? Which then makes interesting competition for Orlando Pirates.
Sure.
Which then means that Mamelodi Sundowns are not going to have it easy as they did last season. Orlando Pirates are a different beast. Mamelodi Sundowns have always been that strong beast. But now this beast is about to be challenged, right? I don't see them beating Orlando Pirates, and this is not me speaking from a supporter or a fan of Orlando Pirates, right? I don't see them beating Orlando Pirates with that squad. For me, that's not a strong squad. For me, that's not a Mamelodi Sundowns squad. Orlando Pirates could have done the same against that team, right? And Stellenbosch could have done the same. Amazulu could have done the same. Skukune could have also done the same. Richards Bay, not to look down upon them, but I mean, any of those teams in the top 8 could have done the same, right? Mamelodi Sundowns are going to be tested against Orlando Pirates. Miguel Cardoso is going to be tested this season properly because he inherited a strong team from Rolani. Now let's see if he still has the depth, if he can still use the right players. Because if it's true, because there's a rumor that he could be losing some of his key players in Kuliso Mudao, Peter Shalulile, Lucas Ribeiro, and those are the main guys that he needs to beat Orlando Pirates. Those are the main guys that he needed for Sundowns to make it to the Club World Cup, to make it to the finals of the CAF Champions League. Of course, I'm going to count Mshishi, but Mshishi can't do it all on his own. So these young guys then come in, You see these young guys playing well against the Sihlendu, playing well against the Sipombule, against the Tito, taking on Mbogazi Spisi.
Yes.
You know, Dino Van Roy and Shandu, Dion Otto, you know. I don't see Mamelodi Sundowns beating Orlando Pirates. Maybe it could be a draw, maybe at Loftus. But at Orlando, come on, that's the slaughterhouse. That's all we'll tell you. Orlando Stadium is the slaughterhouse, and that's where the first leg is. So we're going to thrash them at the Orlando Stadium. Then maybe draw at Loftus.
The league starts this weekend.
Yep.
You made a bold prediction earlier saying that this could be the season for Orlando Pirates.
Yeah.
Tell me why. Because one would argue that Sundowns will win the league for the next 3 to 4 seasons, given just the squad that they have and the money that they have.
They've challenged Mamelodi Sundowns, even though they've always had injuries, Orlando Pirates. Last season, we fell short also because we lost a lot of key players. We lost Nda at the beginning of the season. We lost Sasani at the beginning of the season. There was a point where Tito was injured, which also affected his performance, right? And then we had to adjust. And then Jose Rivera had to improvise. Saleng wasn't playing. He had to improvise a lot. That's when he introduced the likes of Nkota and Mbogazi, because now he was trying to do damage control. And then we were playing a lot of competitions, and then Bonade were ahead of us with games. And Rivero did say that if at any point, if at any point we had to play this, like the same amount of games, playing at the same time, would have had a different conversation or a different story. Now it's post-season. Orlando Pirates then studied Mamelodi Sundowns for me. Whoever are the scouts, they were like, no, these guys, last time we played them, they beat us in the middle.
That's where we need to reinforce.
Season, Ribeiro, he took it on from midfield and then took on the defenders and scored. So that's where we were lacking. Mbogazi wasn't playing at that time, right? We didn't have a Sihlunduli who can stick in that midfield. We didn't have a Sipombuli who can hold on to the ball, take on these guys, create the chances. Tito was injured when we played them. We had to play Kabelo Dlamini, who's also a good player, but we just introduced him, and that's a big stage. Not that he's not new at Pirates. He's been there for quite some time, but that's a big stage for him at that moment in time. You have to replace an injured Tito who was consistent in his performance, and you have to be there and do what he does. What's going to happen?
I feel you.
But here we come, new season, new look Orlando Pirates. Players look motivated. They look well rested under new leadership. This guy has a point to prove. Mamelodi Sundowns are playing against a team that has a lot to prove. What do they have to prove? They've won it 8 times. What do they have to prove? These youngsters...
Can they win CAF? I think that's the only thing that they want to prove here.
So it's ours, bro.
It's yours. In terms of the other games that we saw this past weekend in the MTN 8, Stellenbosch FC... We also saw, who was the other?
We saw Amazulu.
Amazulu, yes.
Skukune.
Yeah, Skukune United. Your analysis of those matches?
Amazulu, I was actually vouching for Athazwani to win. I really was vouching for them to win, but hey man, it wasn't possible. It wasn't possible, and it was a very good match because they gave the match to, they played Skukune, and then Stellenbosch played
TS Galaxy.
TS Galaxy played Skukune, and
yes.
they played Stellenbosch. Sorry, my mistake. Stellies was always going to win. And I was expecting Stellenbosch to win. I mean, they finished third last season. And we know how Steve Barker knows how to play. Even though they take his main players, we know how he always knows how to play. But I was hoping Amazulu would win. I was wishing that for Arthur Zwane. I think he's a very good coach. And I like him also genuinely as a person, you know. And he was a very good player when he used to play. And I honestly hoped for him to win, at least make it to the semifinals. But it was looking less likely playing against a team like a Stellenbosch FC. They've been there before. They were in the finals last season. They were robbed in the finals last season. And that Steve Barker was also saying that, okay, it's funny that, I mean, how we lose to Orlando Pirates and they win the league, and then, I mean, they win the MTN 8 finals. So honestly, if you ask me, I think they were going to lose. Steve Barker has a point to prove. Stellies, I mean, bro, they lost last season. You know, so I think they want to start the season on a high. They just lost another player in Sihlenduli. They just lost Fawaz Basadine, most of their key players. So the least that Steve Barker can do to the club is that, yo, at least can I leave you this trophy? And this is not to say that he's going to leave, but it's like, it's the least that I can do for the club. The patience the club has had in me, you know, how far the club has come, what we've achieved. We always fall short. It's either we are third or second best. So I think this time they're fighting to be number one, and they were just hungrier for me. And yeah, they only won because they were more hungrier. They wanted it more.
We have to talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Kaizer Chiefs supporters will be a little bit upset heading into a new season. My question is, can they at least make the top 8? Because that should be the bare minimum for Kaizer Chiefs, one of the biggest clubs in South African football.
Well, the biggest club, if you're talking fan base, no, man, they're not going to make it in the top 8.
Kaizer Chiefs are not going to make it into the top 8.
They're not going to make it in the top 8, and they're not going to go any further also in the Cape Confederations Cup.
Yeah.
I was reminding one of the guys here in studio earlier on, men versus
John,
yeah. I was like, are you guys even aware that you're going to play in the Confed Cup? They haven't signed any players. You're calling the people that they sign players. I mean, they are players, they're playing professionally, but they're not players that can win them anything, right? They would have to go, maybe defending the Nedbank Cup. Yeah, maybe they can hope to defend the Nedbank Cup, but none of the Kaizer Chiefs players for me are playing like they want to win the league. They want to win the Confed Cup, or they at least want to push Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns to the edge and say that, yo, we're here. You can't forget about us. They're not playing to the standard. The players that are currently playing for Kaizer Chiefs don't compare to any of the players that played for Kaizer Chiefs in the past and won silverware. You look at their midfield. Who can you compare to Renelo Tsulonyane there? No one.
No one.
You go into the wings. Who can you compare to as Pio Shabalala? Who can you compare to a Jabu Pule then changed to Matlang? No one. Who can you compare to a Dr. Kumalo? You go to defense. Who can you compare to a Lucas Radebe? Who can you compare to a Cyril Nzama, Matoho, Mashamaide? You know, those are the kind of players that Kaizer Chiefs had back then. You go up front. Is there Knowledge Mosona? Is there Collins Mbesuma? Is there someone that can finish the season with 10 goals? No. They tried it in Shiva Vero, it didn't work. This Lilepo guy, it's not going to work. None of those guys that are playing for Chiefs right now deserve to be playing for Kaizer Chiefs. And also, if you look at how they're scouting, they're not signing players who are doing well from where they come from. This Tashreeq Morris played against Chiefs when he was playing for Super Sport United, scored 1 goal. That's the only goal that he scored in the entire season against Chiefs, and they went and signed him. Like, why? You know,
Chislets.
I don't think Nabi is a coach that has a winning mentality for me. I don't think he's a coach that's come here to make a name for himself or win anything, because he has a good player in Mfundo Vilagazi. He's not using him the right way. He keeps like I don't even know what to say, bro. But the Kaizer Chiefs gods must be turning in their graves when they see what's happening.
Oh, hectic.
You know, you go back to the history of Kaizer Chiefs and you count players that had a long-lasting impact in South African football. Teenage Ladla, Skara Tindwa, Dr. Kumalo, Jabu Pule. You know, I'm talking players that we still talk about years later. We never got to see Teenage Ladla play, but look at how we're mentioning him in our conversation. Each time you think Kaizer Chiefs, you think Teenage Ladla, right? But are there any players now that when you say Kaizer Chiefs, you can be like, yo,
no,
who's exciting to watch? You know, so
even Bernard Parker back in the day was quite exciting to watch, just from a striker's perspective.
Yeah, he was
but
exciting to watch. Yeah,
nothing as big as the greats.
I also didn't like him as a forward, but he was a very good player. A lot of people liked him, but I didn't like him as a forward. I also didn't think he was Chiefs material. And I know people are want to be like, I don't think he was Chiefs material. But yeah, bro, we had players like Patrick Mabedi, Tinashe Ngomasha, Willard Katsande. What happened to those players that were exciting to watch? Players that always gave a Pirates a headache.
Yeah.
Players that gave a Mamelodi Sundowns a headache. Players that would always go play in the national team.
So what's the issue at Kaizer Chiefs at the moment? Because we are clearly saying that this team is not going to make it into the top 8. And they've signed players, they've got a coach. I mean, they're pumping a lot of resources into this team who, season after season, are failing. The only thing that they won was the Nedbank Cup last season, and there's some question marks there as to how they won it. So what's the issue at Kaizer Chiefs?
Bro, if I had to make any changes there, I think number 1, the scout is an issue. Number 2, I think Rotman's kids are also an issue. You know, they clearly don't know how to run the club. You know, I don't think they learned a lot from their pops, like how Ivan Koza's kids did, you know. Ivan Koza's kids were also involved in the signing of Bo Oswin Apollos and all these other players, because they understand what kind of club Orlando Pirates is. They understand that Chiefs and Pirates are the biggest teams in the country, and these teams deserve to sign star players, not just average players, right? Even when we promote players from development, you see the kind of players that Orlando Pirates promotes. You come to Kaizer Chiefs, like they don't have players, bro. They honestly don't have any players. You know, they don't have a squad that can win them anything. You even saw how they won the Nedbank Cup. Of course, there's gonna be controversy, people saying that, but, you know, and It's how they're all clinging on to the past now because the present isn't so good. So it's always, we're the biggest team we're the biggest team in the country. Are you still?
Ish. Manchester United, hello.
You know what I mean? So I think number one, the problem is, whoever is the scout there, management is also a problem.
Sure.
Jessica's doing a phenomenal job in marketing, but I'm not sure about what Bobby and Junior are doing. And then I think also coach is the problem. The players themselves. The players don't look like they want to win, you know? I think they're there for the fame. You play for Kaizer Chiefs, everyone knows you, you know? And also this thing of signing Mamelodi Sundowns rejects needs to end. It's something that they've done. No, it's something that they've always done. They did it with José Torielba back in the days. He played for them. Rama Thumpahlele, they did it. They
Sereno,
did it
I think, is it?
With Keegan Dolly. They did it with Kama Billiard, who's recently left, right? So they need to stop that also, you know, and go back to the old way of Chiefs, bro. Like, Chiefs used to sign star players. Chiefs would go out and hunt players. And when they introduced those players to us, bro, like, we didn't know of a Knowledge Masona until he played for Chiefs. Oh, my word. We didn't know of a Collins Mbusuma until he played for Chiefs. You know, Spiwa Shabalala was playing for Free State Stars. He came to Chiefs, but became a star. Renelo Tsulunyane was playing for Choma Cosmos, came to Kaizer Chiefs, became a star. You know, Willard Katsande from Zimbabwe, we didn't even know him, came to Kaizer Chiefs, he was a star. Tinashe Nongumasha came, Kaizer Chiefs, he was a star. You know, look at all the names that I've listed. But I can't say anything like that about any of the current players.
Sure.
Mduduzi Shabalala, for me, is still trying to prove himself. After how many seasons? It took Relebohile Mfokeng 2 seasons, the whole country loved him.
Fact.
How many more seasons does Mduduzi Shabalala need to prove that, I am that guy? You can have me in the same, you can mention my name in the same conversation as the Relebohile Mfokeng. No, we can't. How long is it going to take for Mfundo Vilakazi to also take the shine and say that, how long is it going to take for Thabo Cele? How long is it going to take for all these guys? You know, how long did it take for Yusuf Mart? Because he was their captain, but he was also their least favorite player. The only time everyone loved him was when he scored the
Nedbank Cup final,
You know, so I don't think they're going to make it to the top 8. I don't think they're going to win anything this season. Especially if we all agree to have a fair game.
A fair game, you say.
Then they're not going to win anything.
Nah, I hear you, my boy. We would like for you to join the conversation. Mduduzi has shared so much, my boy. Bagania, and also mentioning the fact that Kaizer Chiefs will not finish in the top 8 this season, which I think is the biggest statement. The conversation continues on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. It's Omni Audio Africa, and we would love to hear your comments. Cut.
Cut, Mr. Director.
Your phone was ringing, my boy.